Crouse. Night and Day, the new Couple on the Run movie starring Tom Cruise and Cameron Diaz, borrows elements from North by Northwest, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, and even There's Something About Mary to form one whole that's slightly less than the sum of its parts. If this was North by Northwest, Diaz would have the Cary Grant role. Here she plays June Havens, a single woman who gets sucked into a very dangerous situation. A routine flight from Wichita, Kansas to Boston becomes not so routine when she meets Roy Miller, played by Tom Cruise, a handsome but deadly spy whose world is divided into two kinds of people: bad guys and worse guys. Following a crash landing, some globetrottings, and briefings and debriefings by good people and bad, June must learn who to trust and, more importantly, who not to trust. At stake is a tiny battery that could power an entire city, a nerdy inventor, and possibly, just possibly, June's romantic future. Night and Day attempts to combine the specialties of its two stars, romantic comedy and action, but it's not exactly a seamless package. Diaz has years of rom-com experience under her stylish Gucci belt, and Cruise adds a comedic edge to his standard issue action hero, but the two never quite gel. The movie can't decide whether it is a screwball spy movie, kind of like Get Smart with bigger guns, or a romantic comedy with explosions. It is weighted heavier towards the action, but I couldn't help but think that it would have worked better as a straight up spy drama without the punchlines or the romantic jokes. It's a movie that wants us to care more about the characters than we actually do. Cruise and Diaz are working it here, dodging bullets and exchanging the odd kiss, and trying to create some heat, but every time we start to get to know the characters, the movie slams the pedal to the metal and kicks into action movie mode. Now, much of the action is fun, some of it's even inventive, but none of it is really exciting, perhaps because the stakes are so low. When you don't really care about the characters, who cares if they get blown to bits by Spanish terrorists? Now, it could be that the on-screen personas of Cruise and Diaz are so firmly etched in our minds, he's the heroic man of action, she's going to end up with the guy in the end, that it's hard to build excitement when you know how the movie is likely to end. Now, that's not a spoiler. It's just an observation. Not that the whole thing is a flatline. Far from it. It's a slickly made movie that shies away from the new norm of action photography. Here, you can actually see what is happening as things blow up and Cruise catches some air on his motorcycle, unlike the recent A-Team movie that confused frenetic camera work with exciting action. Now, Night and Day tries to use the star wattage of Cruise and Diaz to tell a story that tries to be an action movie that will appeal to the rom-com set or a romantic comedy that action fans will like. Unfortunately, it falls right down the middle. Richard Crouse.